This is my 4.4 significance presentation, and I chose Pan Chao, The Lessons of Women. Um, so for the first question is define significance in your own words. It's being greater than, worthy, like, of attention of herself. Like, she wrote the lessons of women in regards to women on how they should behave in their culture, which is fine. There were some really pretty strict, guidelines to follow when you lived in that present era. Describe the idea person of the event you chosen. Well, with that being said, she wrote the lessons of women and just wanted to have the women be in highest regard, as if they were not a slave, but just like kind of like, you're a woman, you are here to serve, but yet you're also a great person to of significance of that type of ideal. Like, you have a husband and you're gonna, like, you need to obey, but yet it's kind of like you would be like uh the highest regard as a man, as a woman should towards their man. And I believe, like, what would be the why they're significant is because, like, writing that and then seeing it unfold, like, people could follow, the women could follow it, maybe others didn't. But within that, it had to be like a lot of discipline on her part in order for her to not disobey, but yet follow along as well with the lessons. Because they were pretty strict, and she obviously had her self-worth and the high significance of her own mindset. What impact did they have on the social, culture, religious, economics of time that they occurred? Well, back in the day, they would probably, it's less complicated as we were like now, like social media and everything. Back then, it was just straight like work, taking care of family. Like, focus was basically keeping your family safe, keeping your family fed, keeping your family, together. And kind of like the woman was the mold and the glue to hold it all together, as the man went and earned a living, and she held it together as he came home. So I kind of feel like, social, you can't really knock it, where it's like that's how they lived and that's their culture, that's what they believed. Obviously it helped, economically for that type of family. Or her, how she was to write about it and be about it. And it could have worked for her, but maybe didn't work for other people. But in one way, lessons of a woman is like, okay, these are your guidelines and this is where you're supposed to be. But like I said, it could work for some people, but not all. And that kind of could be like a crossroads where people might not think it's not a good book. But I honestly, I enjoyed like reading that little segment. Plus I did a little bit more of background in the history of that book. What continued impact and why they had on the future. I believe that they probably still hold those same morals now as they would back in the day. I'm sure there's been some boundaries that have been crossed, where not everybody of the women in that era, and even now, they're like, oh no, we're not going to do that. But the old traditions and old way of living, like the generational gap, I'm sure it's like people are trying to break it through, but yet sometimes it's like, why break it if it's not broken type of theory, where we should just stick to traditions on what we know. But times have changed, and obviously it probably, I don't know, if I would probably try to, as we all hold ourselves in significance, we should, like, we all should have that high authority of ourselves. It's our self-respect that we need to learn, and to be better as a society, economically, religiously, culturally. Especially if you have children, you kind of want to make it where show yourself in the highest significance, And I believe Pan Chao did that, considering how difficult it was back in that era and that time where women were just seen and not heard. And sometimes maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but you know, I really enjoyed reading it. So hopefully, you know, other people can experience that, you know, Lessons of a Woman segment as well too. I kind of want to share it with other female friends. So, all right, thank you.